Congratulations, you've just woken up in 1850s London as a scavenger. The good news, you're alive. The bad news, so are the rats and fleas. Your bed is an ungodly pile of straw and hay, stuffed into whatever corner of your shack they could find, smelling like yesterday's garbage on a hot day. But that's south not even close to the worst part. The mattress hasn't been changed since it was last filled, which might have been during King George's reign. Your home is just one room with no windows to speak of, and you share the space with livestock, chickens pecking at crumbs on the floor, and pigs snoring in their sty. It's cozy, if you consider living cheek to jowl with every creature that can fit through your door cozy. The floorboards creak underfoot as you stand, groaning from a night of restless tossing and turning. The church bell clanks again, this time with a mournful ring that pierces through your headache. It's like an alarm clock, only louder and even less merciful than the digital ones you're used to. But here's what nobody expected. This is just the beginning. You glance around your shack, seeing nothing but more of the same horrors awaiting you outside. Yet, your stomach growls with a reminder that food isn't exactly optional here. And that's all before breakfast. But probably not. Because in this world, breakfast is just another word for survival, and you're about to find out what it really means. You've woken up with fleas in your bed, but that's nothing compared to the ticks of fate waiting just outside. The air is already thick with the stench of open sewers and unwashed humanity as you step out onto the muddy streets. And here's what nobody expected. Congratulations, you've just woken up in the heart of Victorian London. The good news is, your clothes are relatively clean and not covered in filth today. The streets below you are bustling with activity as people hurry past. Everyone seems to have somewhere urgent to go. But here's the thing, you don't. You're a scavenger in Victorian London, a city where survival is a daily struggle, and your next meal depends on how clever you are at finding scraps amongst the refuse. It's like Uber, but with horses and plague. You might think this sounds glamorous, like a modern-day treasure hunt in a sprawling metropolis. But probably not. You see the scraps of fabric, broken toys, and half-eaten meals? Those are all that stand between you and starvation today. You begin your day by rumming through bins outside pubs, restaurants, and homes. It's the best place to find something edible or useful. But here's what nobody expected. You'd be competing for scraps with rats, cats, and the occasional desperate dog. You push past them, but your stomach churns at the thought of sharing your potential meal with these filthy pests. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, you notice something else. The city scavengers aren't solitary creatures. They form gangs that claim territories and fight over resources like they're mafia bosses. You can try to fight them for the scraps, but you're not built like a fighter. You're just here trying to survive another day. Or maybe you could negotiate using your charm and wit to secure a meal from one of these brutish scavengers. But probably not. You've heard whispers about certain parts of town where scavengers are more cooperative, sharing resources instead of fighting over them. Maybe those areas offer some hope for survival. You begin to move away from this hostile area, but your path leads you deeper into a maze-like alleyway that promises no easy exit. And here's everything changed when you realize you're not just competing against other scavengers and animals for food. Now you're navigating an intricate web of danger, violence, and desperation where every step could mean life or death. But probably not today unless you happen to be walking under a hanging sign that suddenly swings down onto your head. So what do you do now? Do you continue down this dangerous path, hoping for a meal and safety somewhere ahead, or turn back towards the hostile scavengers? The decision hangs in the air like smoke over the city. So what do you do now? Do you continue down the dimly lit path or turn back and face the possibility of starving to death? You step forward, your heart pounding in your chest, as each step echoes off the rough stone walls. The smell of rotted fish hangs heavy in the air like a warning, but hunger gnaws at your stomach, urging you onward. Suddenly, another scavenger appears before you, a gaunt man with hollow eyes under matted hair. He seems just as desperate as you are, if not more so. His hand reaches out, offering a piece of stale bread that's barely enough to feed a mouse. "Trade?" he whispers, his breath carrying the stench of old wine and worse. "It's better than nothing, right?" But then again, what if he has something better? Maybe he'll part with some coins instead? "Wait," you start to ask, but before you can say more, he pulls away the bread and reveals a small leather pouch in his other hand. It looks like it might have something valuable inside. But then he starts to pull back, revealing a dagger hidden up his sleeve. "Take it," he growls, "or don't. He.S. not here to trade. He.S. here for what you might have." Your eyes dart around, looking for an escape route as he steps closer. But here's the thing. Each direction holds its own danger. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, you realize there's a third option. You notice an old wooden door slightly ajar behind the man's back, hidden by shadows. A forgotten alleyway that might lead to safety or more trouble. But here's what nobody expected. You know now is not the time for hesitation, but taking a chance on this hidden path could be your only hope. And that's all before breakfast. You take one last look at him and the bread in his hand. Do you trust this mysterious alley or make another trade? But here's what nobody expected. Do you trust this mysterious alley or make another trade? But here's what nobody expected. You take a deep breath and decide to trust your gut, or rather, your nose. It's like choosing between two bad options in an escape room. Both lead to trouble, just different flavors. But here's the thing. That pungent odor is just one layer of what awaits in this shadowy passage. As you continue walking, your eyes start to adjust to the dim light filtering through small gaps between buildings. You're about to ask what this person wants when they speak in hushed tones. Careful there, they whisper, pointing toward the end of the alley. As you get closer, it becomes clear this isn't just another trade. The atmosphere is tense, with whispers and glances exchanged between everyone present. You feel a knot forming in your stomach. You take another step closer, trying to decipher the situation, when suddenly, you're left standing alone with your newfound acquaintance from behind the barrel, who now looks at you with an expression of sheer dread. But here's the thing. As you sprint through the narrow streets of Victorian London, trying to shake off whoever or whatever was after those people, you begin to wonder if this was all just a test. And that's all before breakfast in the Victorian underworld. But here's what nobody expected. You're feeling pretty good about your scavenging skills after dodging a few ruffians. But here's what nobody expected. A shadowy figure emerges from an alleyway, blocking your path. You try to slip past quietly, but the figure moves faster than you can react. Suddenly, you find yourself at the mercy of this unknown character. You're about to be robbed blind. But here's the thing, this isn't just any mugging. It's an invitation of sorts. You think this guy was after your meager belongings, but maybe he's looking for something more valuable. Actually, it was neither. You're being recruited by a secret society of scavengers. Yes, you heard that right. It turns out there's a network of people who know all the best spots for hidden treasures in Victorian London. But probably not. You're about to make your fortune, or at least find something that will get you through another day. However, there's one catch: you have to swear loyalty to this society and never reveal their secrets. But here's the thing, everything changes when you reach the warehouse. The door creaks open, revealing a room stuffed with artifacts from every corner of the British Empire. It's like stepping into an ancient treasure trove in the middle of London, but it comes at a price. But probably not. You'd think finding such treasures would be the start of something good. But here's what nobody expected. You're about to discover that these treasures are more than just valuable goods. They hold dark secrets buried deep in Victorian London's history. And with each item you uncover, you'll find yourself entangled deeper and deeper into a web of crime and conspiracy. You're now part of something much bigger than scavenging for food or scraps. But probably not what you expected when you woke up in Victorian London. But probably not what you expected when you woke up in Victorian London. You settle into your makeshift home for the night, but there's little chance to rest. The day was just beginning, and you've been reminded why scavenging isn't exactly a glamorous profession. Yet here you are, lying on this threadbare mattress with lumps as hard as rocks, trying to find a sliver of comfort. But probably not what you expected when you woke up. As dawn breaks, the city awakens in a cacophony of sounds. Street vendors shouting out their wares, factory workers shuffling off to labor, children scrambling to school or work. The air is thick with coal smoke and sewage smells, mingling into an odor you'll never forget. But probably not what you expected when you woke up. You take a deep breath, trying to calm your racing mind as you think about the day ahead. The thought crosses your mind that maybe, just maybe, this isn't all so bad. You're alive in a world filled with mystery and adventure, even if it's steeped in hardship and danger. But here's what nobody expected, but probably not what you expected when you woke up. You think back to your day as a scavenger climbing over piles of trash for scraps, dodging disease and violence, all while trying to keep one step ahead of starvation and poverty. It's like a chaotic game of survival where the rules change every moment. And perhaps that's the strangest part. Not that they live this way, but that we forgot they ever did. So here you are, lying on a bed that's more like a prison cell than a haven of rest, and all you can think about is how much has changed, and yet, how much remains the same. And as you drift off to sleep, let this thought linger in your mind. In every age, we're just trying to survive. That is all, folks. Sweet dreams, or nightmares, if that's more your thing.